Hey everybody, welcome back to the Build with ACSS series, working on the Zendesk.com homepage. This is part 4, and in part 4, we are going to tackle the desktop version of the main navigation right here, which has some very, very basic mega menu kind of functionality. And then we're going to tackle this top navigation up here, which has some very simple drop downs. Now, we are not going to worry about this translation menu. And just to get you like a quick update on a couple things I did behind the scenes, I just added some of these pages in and I added them to a WordPress menu. So if we go to the customizer, for example, go to menus, I added this menu called top menu, and I just threw the links in there. Very, very basic WordPress stuff, because we're going to use the bricks nav or menu element to basically create this navigation. There's two types of navs in bricks. There's a main nav, like a basic nav, and then there's a nestable nav. And the nestable nav is what we're going to use for the main menu, because that has some mega menu functionality. We're going to use the very basic nav for that top nav up top. The top nav up top. That makes sense, right? Okay. The only other thing that I've done that you guys have not seen is I went into advanced custom fields and I just made another custom post type for solutions, and I added the solutions pages in. Those are in this nav right here. When I was looking at architecture, I was just going through saying, okay, what's the architecture like? I also have under products, if we go to products, we have Zendesk Sell and Zendesk Suite. Those are really the two different types of Zendesk products. Their architecture is not very organized. I would give them like a C or a D for architecture and organization on the site. Things are very, very random. Notice there's 4 products up here, but these are the only 2 actual products. Then there's like this, I guess, is an overview of their platform. Have no idea why they call it the Sunshine platform. Then there's this marketplace, which is a completely different thing. And then you come down here and you see a products list that has way more stuff in it. Oddly, it has a sign-in link. It has an integrations link, which integrations are not your products. It has a system status. It has the updates. Then it's like Zendesk for enterprise, Zendesk for, these are like use cases of Zendesk, not actual products. At least it seems that that's the case. So it's very confusing, actually. And that's why I give them a C or a D for architecture. There's stuff all over the place. They have up here, solutions, right? Down here, there's no solutions. You can't get to those links from the footer, or at least they're called different things. I haven't analyzed every single link, but typically, the same organization you see up here, resources, right? Down here under resources, you'll find like security, for example. Well, you go up here into resources, there's trust and security. So it's just, everything feels very, very random. It's hard to kind of pin down exactly what their products are, what their architecture is. I just would not grade them very highly. In any case, we are going to query these 2 things, and then we're going to put these 2 things in manually. We are going to put these 2 pages in manually. We are going to query all of these items under solutions. Then we have a demo link. Then we have resources, which we're just going to put in manually because, it's not like you can create a resources CPT, because some of these things aren't really resources, right? I wouldn't consider the newsroom to be a resource. I wouldn't consider the trust and security page to be a resource. I wouldn't consider partners to be a resource. I would consider partners to be part of like the company, put partners under here or something. Just a lot of stuff that just does not make sense. The other thing you're going to notice is, these are not accessible menus. So if I tab through, right now I'm tabbing through, it's forcing the user to go through every dropdown. That breaks accessibility standards. So what we're going to have to do is do it a little bit differently. And you'll see how that looks in just a minute. But we can't copy exactly what we see because we don't want to copy inaccessible behavior. The same thing is true on their mega menus. You are forced to go through every single item. You're not allowed to skip and go to the other items. And that breaks accessibility standards. So We're going to do things just slightly differently, but we're going to make it as similar as we possibly can. And we're just going to tackle the desktop version at this time. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go edit with bricks. We're going to be editing the header. Now, I've already got a header row up here from before. I just basically deleted the little placeholder links that were right there. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in the nav element. And right here, you see nav nestable and nav menu. So I'm going to throw in the regular nav menu. It's nothing special. It's pretty basic, but it's easy to use and it's easy to get to the result that we're going to need. I am going to call this top nav. Okay, top nav. Save. Okay, style, layout. Actually, no, it's under content. And by the way, I'll just preface this with, I am not, and I've said this many times before, I am not really a fan of the nav or the nestable nav elements in bricks. I just feel like they're not as intuitive and user-friendly as they should be, okay? So with that said, let's get started. So I'm going to zero out the margin. If you notice, there's a 30 pixel left margin on all items, including the first item, which that's just not desirable, right? I clear that out, and I would much rather use gap for this. So I'm going to space these out with gap, with space XS maybe. S, let's try XS. I know it's a very small spacing that they're using. And we are going to go with typography. We need extra small text as well. So I'm going to go with text XS on these links. I'm also going to go with the base color. They are not using the action color for these links. Okay. And then on the entire nav element, margin left, I'm going to do auto, and that's going to kick it off to the right-hand side and kind of pin it to that right side over there. Now we can refresh on the front end. Let's go ahead and go to the front end, make sure we're looking at the page. And there you have it. Like, we have a very basic nav that looks very much like theirs. I'm noticing ours does maybe need a little bit more spacing in between. So I'm going to click on that, top nav, top level, and we're just going to use space S instead of space XS. Now, the one thing I'm noticing is there's a little bit of a, on theirs, there's a little bit of an underline effect when you hover. So a little text decoration on these links. Whenever a hover style needs to happen, I almost always run to the custom CSS box. I hate using this little states area up here in bricks. It's, in my opinion, the worst part of bricks. It's much easier to tackle this stuff with custom CSS. So I'm going to target our top nav. And then what I need to do is I need to check on the actual structure so I know how to target this. So I'm going to go inspect this. And we're going to look for our top nav class. And you see it right here. There's top nav. So let's look at the structure. Inside of top nav, there's a nav. We're going to need to target that. Then we're going to need to target the direct child UL of the nav. And we're targeting the direct child nav as well. So target the direct child nav, target the direct child UL of that nav, and then target the direct LIs of that UL. And that's what we're going to put the style on. So nav, UL, LI. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to say border 5 pixels solid red, just do a little border check, make sure that we are targeting things properly, and it looks like we are. I'm going to say on hover, we're going to do something. What are we going to do? We are going to text decoration underline. All right, and then I hover, and there we go. We get an underline there. I'm also going to say text underline offset, and we're going to go 0.25 and see if that gets us what we want, and it looks like it does. Okay, let's refresh. Now we've got our little underline effect. Now I want to handle this drop down. So I'm looking at this. Let's go to the main site. The other thing we're not going to do, because I hate it. I don't know why this is done. I'm not centering the links. I just am not a fan of that whatsoever. So I'm going to keep mine left aligned, but we need to make them the same size. So text S, and we need to have them pretty close together, and they also need to get the underline effect. Okay, so we are going to go into the nav menu settings, and we're going to close the top level. We're going to open the sub-menu settings, and it's going to open the sub-menu in the builder for us. We're going to go ahead and add the background color of base light. So I'm going to go in here, base light, perfect. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to target the items, the typography of the items. We want that to be text S. We want the line height to be 1. That line height was out of control. Let's do 1.1. I don't know why they do that by default. Then we are going to change the color. We need to use the base color here. So there we go. And then what we need to do is either gap these items out or pad them. Now, see, this is why I don't like, I'll just say it again. I don't like the UI that they've created. It's lacking so many things. They want me to use padding for these links, but I don't necessarily want to use padding. I want to use gap, and there is no option for gap in the items in the submenu. It's just a completely missing feature. So once again, and this is why you don't want to rely on page builders, okay? And my Page Building 101 series, if you haven't watched Page Building 101, hop over to my other channel, hop over to Geary.co, and it's called Geary Co on YouTube, and do Page Building 101. You've got to learn how to do stuff outside of the builder, aside from what the builder allows you to do, because you're going to run into these complications all the time. And if you can't jump over to custom CSS and get the job done, you're going to constantly be bogged down, or you're just going to end up doing things wrong. So what I want to do here is I want to go back into my custom CSS. I want to target the root, the direct nav, the direct UL of that. And actually, I think there's a class on these. Let's go look. Let's just close let's inspect this, get to the sub menu. It's right there. It is. So UL class equals sub dash menu. So UL, that first UL, let's target the sub menu. Now what I should be able to do, if it's using flex by default, hopefully it is, 0.5M, does not appear. Submenu, UL equals submenu. Okay, let's do UL class submenu. And let's see if important does this. No, okay. So display flex direction, column. There we go, okay. So it wasn't display flex by default, which means gap wasn't working. So now the gap is working. We can go to something like 0.5M. And then while we're here, we can also add the padding that we need, which is going to be space S. And we're going to chill with that. Now there's padding on those links by default, which I don't like. We're going to go remove those, but I'm just checking to make sure that we've got things the way that I want it here. And I think that's pretty solid, okay? Now I'm gonna get out of custom CSS. I'm gonna go to our sub menu, and you see right here, padding left and right on the items. I'm gonna zero that out, and we are going to get rid of that. So now the only padding that's happening here is on my actual sub menu, and then the gap or the space between links is created by gap. So now I'm gonna hover this, and that's exactly what we want, except text XS is the size that we're looking for. I put in the wrong size. So we're going to go with XS, and we're going to save, and we're going to refresh, and look at that. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is get those to have the text decoration on hover as well. All right, so I'm going to run straight back to our custom CSS area, and we're going to say that submenu, here we go, root, submenu, li, hover, text decoration, underline. See if that does it. It does not. Let's try putting it on the A. There we go. So we're going to put it directly on the links this time. And it looks like it's inheriting the text decoration, the text underline offset. I'm not sure. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. It is going to inherit from this, the underline offset. That's even more fantastic. So I think we're basically done there. Yes. Now I need to add, let's look at theirs again. Theirs has a box shadow, and it actually has a little bit more padding than what we are using. Okay, so I'm going to change this padding to space M. And then we are going to add a box shadow, which while I'm here, already targeting the submenu, I might as well just add it right here. So 0, 0, 40 pixels, 0, and we're gonna go with base trans 10. All right, box shadow. Oh, it is putting, okay. Is it, let's try 20, 30. Yeah, there you go. Okay, it was just so light I couldn't see it. I was like, why isn't it doing it? Okay, so I don't know. Let's just dial something in. I mean, that seems pretty good. Refresh, and there we go. So our top menu is more or less done. What we need to do now is our main menu, and this is gonna take a little bit more work. And we're gonna switch over to using the nav nestable element. So if I do nav, we're gonna choose nav nestable, and then we're gonna make sure that it's actually putting it in the middle. There we go. And then these buttons we may actually put as part of the nav, okay? In fact, I'm gonna take that out for right now. Okay, and then how do we wanna position this nav? I gotcha. Okay. All right, I'm sorry, I'm working through things in my head. I'm like looking at what they're doing, looking at how we're gonna do it. All right, so let's put a nav class on here. So we had top nav, we'll do main nav. So we did top nav, we'll do main nav. That'll kind of keep the naming very consistent there. All right, and then under main nav, we have, and I gotta look at the structure of this because I don't use this I avoid this nav nestable element as much as possible because I just do not like it. We're building our own for frames. So frames users will have what we believe is gonna be a much, much, much better mega menu building experience and just a normal menu building experience because you can use it for that as well. But nevertheless, we gotta use what's available to us right now. All right, so I want to put a nav link on the end of this. And we're going to give this nav link a class called CTA. This is going to be nav, it's main nav, excuse me, double underscore CTA. I can center it by going auto on the left, auto on the right, and that's going to center that menu. Okay, now we're to a point where we can actually start. All right, so I'm going to go to main nav. Top level items, we're gonna throw a gap in. It looks to me like it's a fairly large gap between these items. So I'm gonna do space XL and we're gonna rock and roll with that for a minute. I'm thinking, so they have a font weight on these links that I don't have. This is not a free font, it's a paid font. I'm using the demo versions of the paid fonts. I don't have the font weight that they're using right here. So I'm gonna make it bold, but it's gonna look a little weird because again, it's like, it's not what they're using. So I'm gonna go to 700 on that, all right? But at least it gets us kind of close. Now, we don't have any action colored links on the real site. It's all base color. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go top level items, typography, and we are going to choose the base color. Perfect. Next thing we're gonna do is let's just start to get the menu built out. Products, pricing, solutions, demo, resources. Actually, it would not be smart to do this until we get one of the dropdowns set. This nav link is going to say free trial. Right here, free trial. We're gonna duplicate it. This one is going to say buy now. All right, we're gonna duplicate that again. This one is going to say demo. Refresh the builder because it's not keeping up with us. So demo, free trial, buy now, and I think everything else is a dropdown. So the first dropdown we're gonna tackle is actually the solutions dropdown because this is the one where I'm going to use a query loop to query these items from our custom post type. So let's do that. Let's make this say solutions. I hate the word solutions, by the way. I've done many videos. Don't ever use the word solutions. It's the laziest word in marketing. So shame on you again, Zendesk. I'm just kidding. You know, I don't even know the people at Zendesk. I'm sure they're great people. So you do fine work over there, Zendesk, if you want me to say something positive. All right, here we go. So solutions, let's look at our drop down. Yes, okay. Got a lot of work to do, don't we? All right, so there's a content wrapper and then there's 2 nav links. Well, I'll tell you right now, we don't need these nav links. I'm seeing that this content wrapper is an unordered list. So I am going to put a block in here, and that is going to be our list item. Okay, we'll just say list item. This is going to be a drop down. Okay, so we'll go main menu, _ drop down. Main menu drop down. Main menu drop down inner. This will be the drop down list. There you go. So drop down list. This will be the drop down list item. Main menu, drop down list item. All very logical, right? Inside the list item, we're going to need 2 text elements. So this is going to be the link name, and this is going to be the description. Okay, which we'll call this the item name, but it's really going to be it's going to be a link, and we're going to use clickable parent here because we don't want the description read out every time somebody hovers, you know, if they're using assistive technology for accessibility purposes. So we are going to use clickable parent here. So we have list item, and then this is going to be the list item label. So this will be main menu, drop down list item label. I think so. I think that makes sense. Drop down. Okay, I'm going to call this item label because I'm going to go to list item and I'm just going to call this drop down item. We're going to take out the word list. I'm trying to shorten these classes a little bit. So drop down item label, drop down item description. Main menu, drop down item description. There you go. Don't put typos in your classes because then you start styling stuff and you're like, why isn't it working? This is going to be a span. I'm guessing this is going to be a span 2. This is going to be the label. This is going to be the description. We want everything to be nice and organized. There's a lot going on here, and we want organization to help us out. So drop down item label, drop down item description, span. Gotta make sure we change that to an LI, cross the T's, dot the LIs, literally, you know what I'm saying? Okay, don't worry, I'll be here all day. Let's go save. There we go. Okay, now we're making some progress. So I want to query loop. Oh, no. Let's get this situated first. The label is going to be the A. So that doesn't even need to be a span. It's just going to literally be the link. So let's go link to external URL #. Let's make the list item layout position relative. Let's make the label we're going to need to use our clickable parent technique here. Okay. So, I think, this is just going to be the A. So we're going to go to custom CSS. We're going to say root before content inset display. Not display, position absolute Z index 1. And now we should have a clickable wrapper. There it is right there. Whole thing is clickable, but only the link name is going to get announced. Really good. On our list item, we're going to need some padding. Space S is what I'm going to start with. Just see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. I'm going to duplicate. No, I'm not going to duplicate. I'm going to query loop it. Okay, let's go in and query loop it. And we're going to be doing post type solutions, right? Post type solutions. And then if we come in here on our label, a couple other little adjustments here. Line height. Let's go with 1, and let's go with 1 on the description as well. And now in our list item, our drop-down item, let's go a 0.5 em gap. I think on our description, we want to maybe go with some smaller text here. How did the description get ahead of the label? Okay, let's put that back the way that it was. And then our list item label needs to be bold. There we go, 600, Save. Hey, we're making progress. Okay, our label needs to be our base color. That fixes that. And then for our content wrapper right here, it looks like we need to do a little bit of a display grid. We need to change the minimum width. So this is going to be, let's try 40 characters, 50 characters. Let's go with 50 characters to start out with. Let's make this a 2-column grid. Let's give it a space S. Let's give it a content gap. Let's give it a no, that's going to be too big. Let's go space S because it's already got padding in the links. Maybe even space XS. I don't want to go crazy with it. Let's go grid 1 on the rows. And now we need padding inside the actual drop-down list. So for that, we're going to go space M. Okay, I'm liking where we're getting. On the drop-down list, we're going to go with background color base light. We're going to need to add a box shadow to it as well. So let's go to border box shadow. Let's go 0, 0, 40, 0, color, base, trans, 20 again. Save. We need to hover style this. And it also has a little bit of a border radius going on. So we're going to go border radius, radius M, pop that on all sides. And then what we're going to say is custom CSS root on hover. We're going to give this a background color, base trans 10. There we go right there. Okay. Now, one thing I'm noticing when we hover, is it changing pink when we hover? It is. Okay. So typography is base. So root hover, well, let's just say color base. Now, I don't know if that's going to target that properly. It's not. Okay. So root hover A, color base. There we go. So we're targeting the actual link when we hover. And that's going to override our default link color. That all looks really good. Okay. How does this look compared to theirs? So their overlay color, their little hover background thing is much lighter than ours. We're using the lightest that ACSS offers. Let's see. Yeah, there is a gap. There is a gap between those. So we're good there. We're using the lightest transparency that ACSS offers. So what we actually need to do is we need to, on the fly, see, a lot of people are like, I don't have a 5%. I need a 5%. I need a 95%. But they don't need it on every site. They only need it in that one particular case, right? And so it doesn't really need to be part of the UI. We have a way to create transparencies on the fly. We have a way to create new colors on the fly or variations of existing colors on the fly. You just got to read the documentation and you got to watch the videos because I teach how to do all of this stuff. It's very, very, very easy. So let's hop back to the, let's hop back to the admin. We're going to go to appearance. We're going to go to theme file editor. And all we're going to do is right here in our root where we've already started to do stuff, we're going to define a new variable. And this is going to be base trans 5. Okay, so we used base trans 10 and it wasn't light enough. We're going to create a base trans 5. How are we going to do this? Make an HSL string. That's number 1. Number 2, reference using color partials our base color. Way we do this is var base H. If you know anything about HSL, you need a hue value for a color, a saturation value for a color, a lightness value for a color. So we're going to take base H, that's our hue. We're going to paste that. Saturation, L for lightness. Literally what I've done is I've just referenced the hue, saturation, and lightness for our website's base color. And then / 0.05 gives me a 5%, oops, can't hit Command Save, gives me a 5% transparency of that. And then I'm free to go right back here. We can refresh to pull that information in. I'll zoom back out. And then we're going to come in to wherever we were. Let's go down to the drop down. And let's go to the list item right here, CSS. And here we go. Base trans 10 becomes base trans 5, and it's now much lighter. It's half the darkness that it was previously. So I'm going to refresh on the front end, and now you have exactly, basically, what they have. So that is very, very, very easy. See, it didn't, no need to say, oh, ACSS doesn't have enough granular control. Well, look at all the granular control that we're putting throughout this website. We can do anything we want. There is no limitations whatsoever. If you read the documentation and watch the videos, that is. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm confident with this. Let's go ahead and pull in this data dynamically. We can get rid of this now. Let's go click on the link name here. Let's put in the post title. Get rid of the E that's in there. Ooh, the description. Description. Oh, we also need to pull in the post URL. Awesome. So that was basically generated dynamically for us right there. Now, what we need to do, small and medium businesses. Does that go to 2 lines in theirs? Nope, it does not. So we need to make our minimum width on this a little bit wider. Drop down list. Is that where we are with our minimum width? Yes. 60, 50, 55. 55 gets us to what we want. I don't know why this says enterpriser. We're gonna have to go back in the back end and fix that. But while I'm back there, I need to put a description custom field. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go to solutions. There it is. Enterpriser needs to be enterprise. Okay. Update. Now we're going to go to ACF. We're going to go to field groups. We're going to go to add new, and we are going to go to, we need to assign this to a place. We're going to go to solutions, assign that to solutions. And actually we're going to call this field group menu. Yeah, we'll call this menu. There's menu description, and then we can assign it to multiple post types based on which ones need the menu description and which ones don't. Okay. So if I go to solutions now and I go to enterprise, we're going to see a custom field down here for that. I'm going to duplicate this tab. I'm going to open it on my other window just so we can actually, I need to screenshot this. All right. And we need to open the screenshot. You guys can't see what I'm doing right now, but I don't want to flip back and forth constantly. All right. Menu description for enterprise is going to be have conversations at scale. Let's go ahead and update this. Now, because WordPress is actually a completely trash content management system, I can't natively put these custom fields on this screen and make them all available or bulk edit them or anything like that. You literally have to click in like a chump one by one. Small and medium businesses grow without growing pains. Update, go back. I mean, it's 2023 and they don't have a better way to do this. Get off on the right foot. Update, go back. Employee experience is going to say treat employees like customers. Update, go back. Meet your market's needs for industries. Markets needs, okay. Update, go back. Conversational CRM and create lasting customer relationships. All right, update. Now, let's go back into the header. All we have to do now is under our solutions, we're going to go to our description, get rid of the default, and pull in our description, menu description. Save. And go check on the front end. There we go. Now, conversational CRM is wrapping. Yeah, it is. It's wrapping for them too. Okay. And our loop is looping backwards. So we also need to open this and say ascending. Save, refresh, and there we go. I want to see what their line height is like on that. All right, they do have a little bit more line height. So we're going to come in here to our description, activate the class, line height 1.2, 1.3. I think that's pretty good. All right, and then on our main class here, we'll drop this to 0.25 M. Think that is matching what they've got pretty well. Nope. That's too much. Actually, no, that's good. We'll meet right in the middle at 0.3 M. All right, save. Great. Now, I'm pretty confident that we've got this mega menu situation the way that we want it. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. So this dropdown is called Solutions. Now, we're going to duplicate that, and this one's going to be called Products, and this one's going to be called Products. Excellent. Okay, so we've got Products, we've got Solutions. What else do we need? Pricing. Okay, Products, we'll call this Pricing. Call this Pricing. Save. We also need Resources. All right, Solutions, duplicate that. Resources. This link right here is Demo. Resources needs to come after Demo. Let's put this at the end. Put the demo right there. Okay, now Products, Pricing, Solutions, Demo. Why Solutions in there twice? Because that needs to say Resources. Then we have Free Trial and Buy Now. There we go. Now, ooh, look at this. Looking good. Looking good. Now, all we need to do for products, we need to query the first two products. So if I go into here and I open this up, open up content, get my list item right here, and I'm just going to change this from Solutions to Products, and it's going to query the first two products. The only problem is there's two other things in this navigation. Sunshine, Platform, and Marketplace. And those are going to end up being manual links, okay? So I'm going to duplicate this list item, and I'm going to turn off the query loop. And this list item is going to be, and here's another problem with this, actually. We might need to finagle. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Maybe we can use grid auto flow to change the flow. All I'm looking at here is it queries this on top of this, but in a grid, the grid goes left to right, not top to bottom. So if we change the grid auto flow to column, we might get what we want. We might get what we want there. Okay, that might be an easy fix. So this list item is gonna say Sunshine Platform, and it's gonna have a I don't know why they call it that. It's dumb. Honestly, it's dumb. Okay, fast, open, and flexible. Fast, open, and flexible. Fast, open, and flexible. Let's go down here to the description. Fast, open, and flexible. Great. We need to duplicate this. This actually needs to go list item. Label needs to link to just a pound sign there. And then we'll duplicate it. We're going to call this Sunshine Platform. We're going to call this, what was it called? Marketplace. Okay. And what was the description? Apps, integrations, and partners. All right. Marketplace. 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 Apps, integrations, and partners. Okay, looking pretty good. Now, Zendesk Suite and Zendesk Sell don't have this little custom field for menu description. So what we need to do is go back into here. We need to go to ACF. We need to go to field groups, and we need to go to menu, and we need to say add rule. And if it's products, hey, you're going to get it too. Then we're going to go to our products. We're going to open Zendesk Sell. Here's our menu description right here. The modern sales solution. The modern sales solution. Update. Go back. Zendesk Suite is, now, you see Zendesk for Service, Zendesk for Sales. But if you click on this, it's called, well, if you go to their pricing, Zendesk Sell. That's really the name of the product, right? They use different names in all these different places. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your copy? If you're naming the product Zendesk Sell, then call it Zendesk Sell everywhere. It's just, you've got to like learn their native terminology before you can figure out how their marketing works. It's really frustrating. And look, their whole website has a different design on all internal pages than their homepage. Their homepage is a completely different look and feel than all of their other. Zendesk is a mess right now, an absolute mess right now. Okay, let's go to close that out. We don't need that. Zendesk Suite is the complete service solution. Okay, the complete service solution. Update. Now, save. We don't even have to do anything because our loop is just going to fix itself. See that? Now we just need to figure out in this particular instance of the dropdown list, not on the class. That affects every one of them. I just want to affect this instance. So I'm going to deactivate the class, and I am going to do this at the ID level. We're just going to give this a shot. So we're going to say grid auto flow column. And that did not do what I thought it was going to do. It's because we're forcing one row. So grid template rows is grid 2. And Zendesk Suite, Zendesk Cell. Yes, that's what we want. Oh, I love the Ninja. The Ninja grid skills. You know, the Ninja grid skills come in handy so often. Okay, so we've got that. Now pricing is going to just be, these are static links, okay? And I do like this aspect of the bricks nav nestable thing. Like some things you can query dynamically if you want to, and some things you can just make them static if you want to. Okay, so under pricing, we're going to have content. We're going to deactivate the query loop. We're going to come into the label and just say, what do they say? Zendesk for service, Zendesk for sales. Zendesk for service. And we need another one that's going to be, and I need to no, that's good. Okay, description. We'll deal with this in a minute. All right, I just want to be able to duplicate this and say Zendesk for sales. And pricing says the complete service solution, the modern sales solution. All right, pricing, the complete service solution. And the other one says the complete sales solution. Not very creative with the copywriting here. Now, you see that this is a grid 2, but I really don't want it to be a grid 2. On theirs, it's a grid 1, okay? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a drop-down list modifier class. So this is main menu, drop-down list, and we'll say drop-down list, single column. And all we're going to do on single column is say grid 1. And then also on single column, we want to change the minimum width back to auto. Ooh, not auto. Let's try min content, max content, max content. Save. Nice. How's theirs looking? Basically, more or less the same. Okay? All right. Now, demos not one, solutions is done. Resources, my friends, resources. This one's a pain in the ass because I would love to query this dynamically, but we're not going to be able to because they have zero organization in how this is done. So once again, we're going to have to duplicate this list item, bring it down into here, delete this query loop variation, and now we just got to do this by hand. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate that 11 times or 10 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this one actually happens to be much wider. And it's shifted way further over, and we haven't even positioned our menus yet. And we got to do this little hover effect. Look at that little hover effect. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Why is that menu staying open? That's not right. Okay. Notice that we have these arrows. We have to have these for accessibility. I mentioned earlier that their menu is not accessible. Ours is going to be, and these arrows are actually what helps make it accessible. You'll see how it works in just a minute. Okay, what I need to do is, really, let me save this. Really what we can do is we can just leave that like that. We don't have to have the exact links. That's pointless, meaningless time. Maybe we can button that up in the end if we want to. All right, here we go. Let's go into our drop downs. So, drop down right here. But actually, it's the content wrapper, the drop down list, that we need to shift around. Okay, I'm gonna go into CSS root, and I'm gonna say we're gonna translate this on the x-axis, because notice that their menu starts like over here. It's like offset, so we're gonna need to offset ours. And we're gonna do an offset of like -2m. -3m. It'd be nice if like we could get that to a line right there. If we know the padding of this and the padding of this, we can add those together and create an offset value. And I think it was, let's see, we'll call this drop down offset. And I think it was space M plus space S would be the offset value. Space M plus space S. So if we take the translate and we translate drop down offset by -1, look at this. The way that variables just give you power, it's just like magic. You don't have any magic numbers to worry about. It's so simple, so elegant, so efficient. Look at the perfect alignment that we've got going on here. Now I need to move this whole thing down. So that is the X translate. I need a Y translate. That's gonna be the space of the padding that is in our header, which is space M by default. So let's move it down, space M. We need to wrap that in a var. Hey. Now it's a few pixels off, probably because maybe the line height of the links here. Yeah, it appears there's some extra little height going on in here. I'm just gonna use a calc on this, and we are gonna have to go magic number for this. I don't think there's any way to cleanly calc this. So space M, would it be -7 pixels? 5 pixels? 8 pixel? Wait, where are we going? Plus? It's plus. What am I thinking? 7, 6, 5, 6. I think we're good there. Let's save this. Let's go to the front end. There we are. Nice. Now, I think we're covering that up a little bit. Let me go 7. Let me save. Look at how that, now I can see the whole line. And I think 8 would be too much. Okay, so we're gonna stick there at 7. Now I need to create the little animated bar that comes across. Okay? That needs to happen when I hover this thing. When I hover the drop down. So we're gonna use a pseudo element. We're gonna go position relative on the drop down. We'll use an after element. Content is blank. Width of 100%. Height of 3 pixels. Background color, red. There it is. Inset inline start of 0. Inset block end of 0. And instead of 0, we need 2M. Oh, we need to position this absolute. -2M. That was a good guess. I don't actually want to leave it there though. I have no faith in that number at all. What I need is the offset that we used on the menu. That's what I need. We need to create a vertical offset and a horizontal offset, because now we need to be able to reference it right here. Okay, so we're gonna go to the drop-down content right here, the drop-down list. So I'm gonna call that drop-down inline offset, drop-down block offset is this. And then this is inline offset. There we go right there. Drop-down inline offset, drop-down block offset, we're good to go. The only challenge is, in order for me to use these on this, I need to put all this on the parent. So I'm going to take these right here, and I'm going to put them on the actual drop-down. There we go. Now I can come down here, and inset block end is drop-down block offset. And then we need to multiply that by -1. Now, both of those use the exact same values. Now, if the height of my header or the padding in my header ever changes, I just come change these little offsets right here, or the padding in here changes, and everything kind of fixes itself. It's kind of an unbreakable situation at that point. Okay, refresh. Look at that. Now, clearly this is not what you want. Oh, we can't do it on the drop-down. Because then it doesn't affect these links right here that are not drop-downs. Okay, we're going to take this. We're going to put that on the menu. Nav nestable, main nav, root. Let's drop these in, okay? Everything that's a child can still access these. So where do we need to put that? Can't put it here. I think what we need to do is go to nav nestable and go to root, target the nav, target the UL, target the LI. Get rid of this root. Position relative. Okay, root, nav, UL, LI, after. Okay, content with 100%, height 3 pixels, position absolute, background color red. All right, LI, root, nav, UL, LI. Oh, is there, it must be a different structure than the other one that we did. And it is. Look, main nav is on the nav in this one. So this nav nestable element has a little bit different structure than our other one. We don't actually need this nav tag. We just need to take that out. Okay, save. And now we have that on every one of them. Now all we have to do is transition it, okay? And change its color, obviously. Okay, woo! Little finagling there. All right, so background color is going to be var base, and the width is going to be 0. There you go. And then we're going to steal this, and we're going to say, when the LI is hovered, we're going to do something to the after. What are we going to do to the after? We're going to make its width 100%. And then we're going to transition it. We're going to transition the width 0.3 seconds, ease in, out. Touchdown. Absolutely fantastic. And now what we can do is we can actually tab navigate without forcing the user to go into the drop downs. But if I want to go into a drop down, I can. Then I have Zendesk Suite. Oh, look at that. We want to make that focus style happen. We need a little focus parent action. Okay, so we're going to go in to our list items. And this is why having classes on everything is so absolutely critical, because I didn't even realize that that needed to happen. I just created a whole bunch of links, right? But they have a class on them. So no problem. I can just go and, change all of them at once. So let's say root hover, background color. I need root focus within, set the background color. Okay, save, refresh. There we go. Now I'm getting the background. I just need to remove the focus style. So we're going to steal this. We're going to say root focus within, focus, outline, none, box shadow, none, save, refresh. Now we have the proper focus style. Now let's see how this announces. Okay, let's go here. Cover your ears. Let me actually do this. Here we go.
Voiceover on Chrome. Header, template, memory usage, link, visited, link, toggle dropdown, collapsed button, group, list 7 items. Toggle dropdown, expanded button, group, link, Zendesk Suite, link, Zendesk Cell, link, Sunshine Platform, link, Marketplace, toggle dropdown, collapsed button, toggle dropdown, current page, link, Zendesk for service, current page, link, Zendesk for sales, toggle drop, link, enterprise, list 6 items, level 2, link, small and medium businesses, link, startups, link, employee experience, link, industries, link, conversational voiceover off.
This is how an accessible menu looks and sounds, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see if there's anything that we've missed. Their little animated bar goes a little faster than ours. I mean, that's just a slight little detail. Oh, this last one, resources, we got to move it way over. How are we going to handle that? So what we're going to do is come down here to this drop-down list, and it's got this translate on it. And all we're going to do is hijack the translate, turn this off, and at the ID level, we can just add a translate for this particular menu right here. So the x-axis is, let's just do the offset times -3. Let's see how that works. Okay, so that moved that over there. And then it also made it a different minimum width, okay? So translate, we just actually come down here, min width, 70 characters, make it a little wider, make this a -5, save, refresh, look at that. So now we're getting more of, okay, they did it on the opposite, right? Okay, so let me think about that. Drop down inline offset times -5. Okay, I don't think there's any other way to do it. Let's do like 8, 9, 10. There we go. Save, refresh. So this one's gonna be in the right spot. That one's in the right spot. That one's in the right spot. This one is now in the right spot. It behaves differently from the others, which is awesome. All fine and dandy. This is looking really, really, really good. Now, what about this free trial buy now situation? Can we do that as a quick wrap up? I think we can. So nav link, we're going to put that class on there. So main nav CTA. Okay, now it's not acting crazy. Now it's not acting crazy. Now, I don't want that little hover effect thing going on. So let's go back here. And for ULLI, not main nav CTA, after. It still gets it. Not main nav CTA, ULLI, because that is an LI still. So the LI is not main nav CTA. Okay, let's do after. There we go. Oh, but hold on. It removed it from all of them. Root ULLI. I can actually, probably the easier than a not is just to come down here and say main nav. Actually, you know what? It should just go to the class itself. Just go to main nav CTA, go to root, before, display none. Wow. Because that's not an LI. It's the LI right here. Ah, that's why you can't target it. Bricks is putting the class like on the wrong thing. I need that class to be on the LI and not on the A. Okay, so root before, let me just think about this. The style is on the LI. How do we signify that that's a special list item when I'm not allowed to put a class on the actual list item? I can use has, but that doesn't work in Firefox. That's why my not statement wasn't working. That's a little depressing. Bricks, get it together. Don't add elements to the page. This is a fundamental rule of page building. Don't add elements to the page that we don't have access to. This is the kinds of problems this creates. Okay. Maybe I can change this to doing that on the A. Root ULLI. And then this can be A after. LI hover A after. Is this still going to get us what we want? Oh my, oh God. It's going to do it to all of them. Even though I'm targeting direct children. Ah, here we go. Direct. Okay, that fixed that, but it's because these aren't A's. These are not A's. These are not links. They're not links. It's not going to work. It's got to be on the LIs. Bricks is making this really challenging. LI hover after. Okay, that's back in effect. I think we're going to have to target the last two children. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Root LI not nth child minus n plus 2. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay. Root ULLI. Look, here's the thing. No situation can escape my wrath, okay? Root ULLI nth child minus n plus 1. Let's just see what we're targeting. Border, 5 pixel, solid, red. I'm sorry, nth last child. What am I thinking? Okay, I've targeted the last two children. All right, and what we're going to do with the last two children is we're going to make them look like buttons. And we're not even going to need a button class. So I can go here to the nav, main nav CTA, turn that off. Okay, let's go to nav nestable. Let's go up here because this is going to be easier. All right, we're going to come down and we're going to say, and we're going to go to automatic CSS docs, right? And we're going to go we're going to go search for buttons. And we're going to pull up buttons and links documentation. We're going to scroll all the way down to the available variables. Overriding, background color, okay, in specific context. Button variables documentation. There's all of our button variables right there. It more or less follows all the CSS properties, okay? So we're going to say padding, and this is going to be button inline padding, or button padding inline. This is button padding block, button padding inline. It's going to var those up. Then we're going to have backgrounds color is var button backgrounds color. think that, oh, it's BTN. Okay, we're gonna change this variable in just a second. Let me refresh and make sure that that's not still getting that. It is, and the builder still getting that underline style. It's still getting them over here too. Hold on, what did I do? Okay, inner, nav, main, CSS. All right, I targeted the last last 3. Oh, I never did the after. Okay, we're gonna steal this. After, display, none. There we go. And it's on all the others, but it's not on our buttons. Why are those buttons so far apart is the next question. Because of the gap. We're going to have to control our gap. We might not even be able to use a gap in this situation. We're not going to be able to. So that's another adjustment we have to make. So we got to go back. We got to go top level. We got to go gap 0. We got to do a margin left on our items. Okay, CSS, root U position, LLI, margin left is going to be space XL. Okay, I can't really do a not on that because I'm still positioning all of that relative. So I'm just going to say root UL, LI, first child, margin left 0. And we actually want this to be margin inline start, margin inline start, save. Okay. And now what I can do is these next 2 is margin left of 0.5 em. And that's going to put those. Ah, yes, 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 yes. Hold on. These actually need a margin left of auto. And then we need, yes, 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 yes. Okay. No. 1 em. And then the first one, so I need to change this targeting statement right here. We're going to target the first one in minus n plus 4. Let's do border 5 pixels solid red, 3. This one. So we do a margin left of auto. Actually, that doesn't need important. That's fine there. What we need to do is go to layout width of 100%. Now that's going to force those over there. Excellent. And now I'm wondering if our first item can also have a position of auto. There's our first child right there. How about margin inline start of auto? And that's going to center that. Touchdown. I know there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So now what I need to do is I need to come to the third one, which has the margin left of auto, and that is going to get the button background color variable defined as action, and the button color variable defined as white. Button color is white. This needs to be var white, by the way. Man, I'm hitting so many extra keys today. Why is that not white? Inspect. Oh, it's the A. Last child 3 n plus 3. Maybe I need to put this on the A instead of the LI. Okay. That's a little bit better. No, I can't do that. It's going to screw up the margins. Dude, this LI versus A situation that Bricks has created is causing a lot of complications. Okay, so I need root 3A, button color, white. Maybe I just do color, white. There we go. Okay, we can get rid of this button color variable. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay. Button, border, color, action. Excellent. Okay. All right, now we need a hover style. Oh, and it's going to do that crazy hover thing. Well, I can still make the hover style, the background color, black. So we will do this on hover. And we're going to say that the background, button background color and button border color both change to base. So this should be correct. There we go. And then what's our other one? So we've done the 3 button. Is this the 2 button? We don't need margin left auto here. Button background color is going to be base. Oh, this is an outline button. Just to make things complicated. Button background color is transparent. Button border color is base. The A color is base. The button border color is base. On hover, it's base. On hover, we need an on hover targeting the A. Targeting the A, color equals var white. All right, is that what they got going on? Yes, that is what they've got going on. So now we have buttons that are actually part of the navigation, which is semantically accurate. We've got our mega menus. And then while we're here, let's fix the logo size, because I think we went a little small on that. So that needs to be 100 pixels. No, 84 pixels. Hold on. Yeah, 84 pixels by 60 pixels. What do we have ours at? 84 CTR. There we go. 5.25 rem. Get a little bit bigger in there. All right, we're going to call it. Let me go back to camera. That is the end of this one. It was a little treacherous in there. We had to figure some things out based on how Brix's nav menu elements structure the HTML and how we can target. Ran into a really big problem once again of builders creating elements that they don't give you access to. Those nav elements create list items that you cannot click on or select. And that is a big, 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 big problem. I tell page builder developers all the time, do not do that. Do not add DOM elements that you do not give the user access to. And we saw how that created some complication there. Adding these buttons as part of the nav creates additional complication, but it is semantically the best way to go about this. And in a future video, we will tackle the mobile version of these menus. But that is going to be a wrap on this episode. Thank you again for watching. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. Cheers.